All right, we're attaching the feet at this point, just kind of dry fitting them on there. When I place this one in where I want it, you guys can see it a little bit better, okay? You'll notice that this is kind of at an angle, kind of steep this way. If I want it to be flat, okay, I'm gonna need to take my needle tool or a knife or something like that so that it's going to sit nice and flat. Now when I do that, it kind of boogers up the end there, okay? Just a little bit of water, smooth that out, okay? Make sure those edges are nice and clean and crisp, okay? I can also go around and figure out which areas that I want, okay? Nice and clean. And then we're gonna go ahead and score and slip. Normally I would have a comb, but I did not bring that with me for this demonstration, unfortunately. A little bit of water. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press that in, just like so. And then we're gonna go ahead and do this one. Same thing. And we're gonna repeat this for all three sides. Make sure I got my nice flat edge there that I've cut down to size, to the way I want it. I think that one's supposed to go about like that. There we go. Figure out where it's gonna go. Make sure, double check it, okay? You don't have to be stuck with wherever you placed it the first time. If that doesn't look right, if it doesn't feel right, okay, by all means, change it up. All right, and there we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab a modeling tool, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and smooth these into each other, okay? Now I'm not worried about boogering up the bottom of this, okay? Where these connect, because I'm gonna put a coil around these to help smooth that transition from the bowl to the foot and from the foot to the bowl, okay? We want those transitions to be nice and clean, all right? Otherwise you get what I call those visual speed bumps, okay? What I'm talking about is, as I look at this, if I were to leave it like that, okay, your eyes follow this nice, beautiful, rounded curve, and then you go, oh, there's a big dent there. Okay, well, I'll move on. But that pause there is going to be something that people look at and go, oh, that doesn't look like you took the time to clean that up and make it nice and smooth, okay? And then they'll continue on. But they had that moment of, oh, I don't really care for that, you know? And so we wanna eliminate that as a possibility, okay? And very simply, I'm just gonna take a nice thin coil, press that in, okay? I've shown you this on many other demonstrations, okay? But this technique works really well to fill in all those little tool marks, to fill in all this little gap that's created where we've smoothed that together. And what that does is the smoothing part of it helps create a stronger bond so that that foot is not coming off for nothing, okay? So hopefully you can see me working with my tool here to get this connected, okay? And as this firms up, all right, yeah, I can go back in again and do a little bit of cleanup, okay? We want to do as much as we can right now because while it's soft, it's a lot easier to work with and that kind of stuff. And if it's leather hard or even a little bit beyond leather hard, sometimes the clay can kind of flake and chip away rather than be nice and smooth, okay? We've got a pretty good connection there. And then we're going to take a little paintbrush, okay, and smooth out some of these little tool marks, clean that up, and just make sure that the transitions are there are really good, okay? So that sits nice and clean. I'm gonna do the other two. I'm not gonna make you guys watch. Maybe I'll do a little quick montage of a time lapse, and then we'll talk about finishing up and putting the finishing touches on the rest of it.